this episode of Viral Rewind, we're revisiting the IRC-Fagot worm. And this is actually prompted by a recent comment on my original video, plus it's actually been a while and I actually said that I wanted to revisit that because it did not perform how I wanted to in the original video. So on this computer here, I've got Windows XP, and I'll have another video after this with it on Windows 98 for comparison. But anyway, we got the original video you can look at that kind of shows the file description and everything with it, but for context we're actually going to look at the raw file here in Microsoft Word and look at the actual lines of code and what it does. So the first thing that happens when you run the Fagot worm, and again that is its name because that's what the virus researchers named it for, which we'll see later on in the document here looking at its code. And the first thing that happens is that it kills this Ad-watch, registry editor, and taskmgr executable files. So the moment you run the worm, it automatically kills these three tasks whether you have them running or not. And then it starts copying itself into the Windows System 32 directory and also into a couple of other directories as well, and then it makes entries in the Windows registry so that they run automatically on startup. This user init32 is specified in the Windows login section of the NT version of CurrentVersion, and then the one after that, which is this run or DLL host 32 I should say, is then also put into the CurrentVersion run section of the regular part of the registry. So this makes it come up on startup every time that when you start Windows up, whether it's on Windows NT based systems or something like a Windows 9X system, which again Windows 98 we'll look at a little bit later. And we can see the various copies, and then it starts going into killing other tests, notably antivirus or anti-malware or other kinds of applications. So like here we have the Norton antivirus auto protect that it kills. We got some Kaspersky stuff in here. Let's do a page down. And we got some more like Norton Internet Security. A couple items there. Get Norton Protect, Norton Protection Services, schedulers. This is for Zone Alarm Pro and Zone Alarm Pro setup on installer. So Zone Alarm there. Looks like a vast antivirus protection there is what it's killing. A couple of other types of antivirus. Black Ice, FPROT for Windows. 32 scan. Again, it looks like more Norton antivirus stuff for Windows there. A couple more. And then once it gets into past all of those, terminating all of those processes, then it starts doing work on the system. In the case here, it disables the safe mode and safe boot operations in the Windows registry. It basically deletes those registry keys out of there, giving it some more high-level access to the system. And also, it will go into Microsoft Internet Explorer and actually change it so that the start page is this www.blacksnake.com. So it will always launch Internet Explorer going to this website now that it's changed its default address. And then it starts getting into a bunch of things, again more with registry edits, and then it starts deleting all these system files. So these are all system 32 files, like again registry edit 32, shutdown.exe, user initialization, program manager, the NTOS kernel. So again, it's trying to cover its tracks on both Windows 9X and Windows NT systems. So it deletes all these files. And then let's see, scroll down some here. We see it also does this to Notepad.exe, and it will also do it to registry edit.exe. So these are all the files that are deleted, and then this section here where we're seeing their names again is all the files it's replacing. So these are all the copies of the Fagot worm replacing all of these after they've been deleted. And then once it has finished doing all of that, then it gets into this part where it starts deleting the entire catalogs out of the Windows registry. So it goes in the HKey local machine and deletes stuff like the hardware and software and security and a couple of other. Again, it's the entire catalogs. There's not specific keys or anything, but the entire catalogs. And we'll see the effect of this on Windows 98 when a lot of stuff like the graphics driver and sound driver and all that stuff stop working and the system is basically thinking it's been reset to factory installation. It'll affect this system here as well when we run it. And then here is this error in memory block, fake error that we get after it's run all that, which we've seen in the original video. And then the very last thing is how it spreads. It uses this message function to send a message on mIRC that goes to an angelfire.com site to download a picture of Britney, which supposedly has to be Britney Spears, with this little message attached to it. Check it out. And then what happens is that when somebody goes to that, it actually downloads an HTML file. So it's not really a picture, it's an HTML file with a script code in it, probably ActiveX, because it's launched with Internet Explorer usually back in the day. And then what that would do is it would download this worm off a website or some other host that has it. And then another script would then tell it to execute the worm on the system, and then it would run all this stuff, and then it would send messages through mIRC, like how the user got it in the first place, and spread it that way. So that's how the code works. Close this out. Close this out. Now we do have the registry editor and task manager open, but let's go to the worm here and open it. And as you see, it immediately kills the registry editor and task manager processes. They go right away from the screen there. And there's hard drive activity going on. As I said, it's deleting a whole bunch of those Windows applications, including several catalogs, out of the Windows registry, and then replacing a lot of those system files with copies of itself. And we'll see this in Windows 98 again if we show it later. But you see we're getting some errors on Windows XP here, like, you know, no firewall is enabled, the memory block error, and of course now the system sound is gone because all those registry entries that know what sound drivers are on here are all gone now. And I'm having problems with the Toshiba, you know, hotkey launchers and stuff on here because they're all complaining that they can't load the dynamic link libraries because they've all been damaged, or at least the loader for them is damaged. And because the Windows registry catalogs are damaged, associations and everything are all out of whack. So you see the context menu here only has a refresh, undo, rename, and properties, because one of those changes technically put the desktop into a safe mode, so the desktop here doesn't work right. We have no icons for anything in the start menus. You know, we can't find the control panel because, again, messed up the associations. I can't change the time, and it's beeping at me. Oh, it actually did bring up the taskbar properties. The system is getting pretty hung up here, though. But yeah, I tell it to adjust date time, nothing happens. And if I try to restart this, it's going to fail with the NTOS kernel. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is because of, again, how the worm is named. It was named because it changes the user's name to cocksucking faggot. It's probably there in the code. I just went right by it. But if I do manage to find an actual screenshot or anything like that of when this was tested where that actually was able to be displayed on the login page, I'll try to insert it here. So, again, the computer's still failing, and based on the amount of memory I've got on the camera, I'm going to have to stop here pretty quick, and then we will go ahead and look at the system on Windows 98. Yeah, see, not working here. So let's go ahead and see what happens with the Faggot IRC worm now on the recording I did with it on Windows 98. So now I've got the Faggot IRC worm here on a Windows 98 machine, the Toshiba Satellite 2595 CDT that we've looked at before. And I've got the deep scan of TinyWatcher here on the desktop, so I'm going to run the worm, and then very quickly come over here and try to run TinyWatcher while it's running, so we can at least start to catch some of the changes the worm makes before it completely immobilizes the system. So I'm going to run the worm. I'm going to run deep scan. Oh, and the system's already getting slow. Let's see if we get some changes in the Windows directory here. Oh, there's our fake error message. There's error in memory block. And I can't open Notepad. Probably can't even refresh the window. Nope. So that's trashed. Let's see. Yeah, there is all our dropped files from the Fagot IRC worm. It's already erased everything out of System32 and dropped all these copies of itself, both as this DLL host 32, which is the actual copy of it, and then it's just made a whole bunch of copies imitating legitimate Windows applications. And of course, this is not an NT system, but there's the NTOS fake kernel that it drops. Win.exe, of course we use win.com for that. System tray, services, shutdown command. Where's the login functions? And a couple of other things that we're still scanning. But I'm sure there will be some very interesting results. Yeah, all our programs have the I don't know where that is or what that is icon on them now. On everything. Access to the specified device path or file is denied, so it has denied access to functions of the computer, as we'd expect. And there goes the computer's cooling fan because the CPU is going 100% right now. So registry edited notepad's been modified, pretty much with copies of itself. There's all our dropped files, as we were just looking at in the System32 folder. And new entries were made so that it would always run that copy of itself that it dropped on startup. And then for Windows NT, which of course this is now it is with its Winlogon, it would use that. And of course process detected for the first time. So again, every one of these files are all copies of the Fagot IRC worm, 373 kilobytes. 373 kilobytes. And you notice on the context menu here, there is no open or anything like this. It's just cut, copy, paste, create, shortcut, delete, rename properties. We have the menu options. Now, operation has been canceled due to restrictions in effect on this computer, so we can't even restore any options. Let's go back to Windows directory. I think we can still put this in a different view, though. There we go. Now, these applications like Calculator and everything still work, but we can't access them because of the way that the menu system here is working. And we can see regedit is basically the copy of the worm. And so is Notepad, wherever that is. Yeah, there's Notepad. You see it's same size. So let's Let's try doing a quick restart. We just hold down the Shift key. See if we can do a quick restart. And we still got sound right now, and we still have a working display driver, but that might all change when we boot back into Windows. Windows is now restarting. Yeah, we've done lost our display driver, and it's going back to thinking we're just starting up Windows 98 for the first time with nothing on. So yeah, as I expected, no display drivers, no sound drivers, no drivers of any kind really, and it's basically taking us back to the start of the Windows install. And I don't have a 98 key off the top of my head. Hold on a second. Alright, got through that part. Let's see if we can get anywhere in Windows 98 here. Display drivers not configured properly, blah blah blah. Yeah, we know. We can't get anywhere because there's no driver. Can we actually get past that into Windows? Nope. It blue screens of death. Invalid VXD dynamic link call. Win32 to service 1. Yeah, I'm not surprised our Windows configuration is invalid. It wants us to run the Windows setup to fix the problem. I don't know. What if we say no? Oh, well, we definitely crashed the system because look at the top of the display. That's no good. And it's completely stopped. Let's see.